This is Optimal Relationships Daily, episode 2145. 5 Common Misconceptions That Keep Couples from Seeking Therapy by Dr. Margaret Rutherford of drmargaretrutherford.com. Hello, everybody. I'm Greg Audino, and this is Optimal Relationships Daily, the show that is all about improving the many relationships in your life each and every day in about 10 minutes or less. Now, this time I'll be reading a great post for you from Dr. Margaret Rutherford, examining what we might tell ourselves that keeps us from trying couples therapy. As a therapist herself, Dr. Margaret offers a lot more for you to think about. So let's hear what she has to say as we optimize your life. 5 Common Misconceptions That Keep Couples from Seeking Therapy by Dr. Margaret Rutherford of drmargaretrutherford.com. I do a lot of couples therapy, and there are 9 words that are music to my ears. We came in before there was a real problem. This very wise couple has not waited until a crisis has hit. No one is flirting with a coworker, no vicious and repetitive arguments are heard late at night, nor does steely silence define their days when the only words spoken are about who's getting which kid to practice. If only it were the norm for couples to come in before things get chaotic and incredibly hurtful. But let's face it, you probably don't take your car in for a tune-up until some warning lights go on. Tornado shelters are planned after tornadoes have ripped through your community. Do you know where your flashlight is, or if it needs batteries? You're both inundated with the stress of normal life, working for a promotion, attacking piles of laundry, or helping with math homework. So it's easy to forego maintenance of your relationship, to reassure yourself that the arguments you're having or the fact that you can go days without speaking to one another is okay. Add on to that the fact that there are some very common misconceptions about therapy itself. Then you're likely never to darken the door of a couples therapist. You can wait far too long. The misconceptions that you hold on to can easily be hiding your fear of vulnerability. And entering therapy takes courage. Let's talk about those misconceptions for a minute. They are the stories you tell yourself about why couples therapy just isn't for you, or won't help, or is a waste of time. However, they also serve as a great way to avoid the fear of vulnerability that is part of the therapy process. That takes courage. So I'd like to debunk 5 common misconceptions. Misconception number 1. Therapy involves giving up control. Some stranger isn't going to tell me what to do. You tell yourself that therapy is like school, and that the therapist is the authority with all the answers, and you, the ignorant student, are assigned tasks which you must perform. You're handing over your life to a perfect stranger. I assure you, if I used such authoritarian tactics, I wouldn't have any patience. What a good therapist does have is objectivity and experience. They can act as a consultant, seeing problems you're describing in the context of the hundreds of other stories. They may connect present-day issues with your past, or notice behavior or communication patterns that are harder for you to see. It's the same as a coach watching your golf swing, or a chef tasting food you've prepared. Misconception number 2. I can talk to my friends. My father-in-law used to joke, "People pay to talk to you?" In many ways, his teasing revealed an important point. There's a misconception that therapy is all about talk, words. It's not. Therapy is about a specific kind of relationship that's a focus on you and what you want to change in your life. Your therapist's job is to carefully understand and hold your emotions, your hurt, your anger, and help you work through them. She or he is emotionally present with you, helping you to maneuver through whatever is causing pain. For couples, the work for a therapist becomes to provide that compassion and support for both, even though there can be vast disagreement and conflict. Your friends often have an agenda. Hopefully a therapist does not, except to help you and your partner reach a better place with one another. Misconception number 3. Excuses of money, time, and availability. Therapy costs too much. It takes too much time, and you can't find a therapist when you need one anyway. Money is tight for many, and of course it's a consideration. But therapy can be very focused on a certain issue or pattern, and if you do the work outside of the therapy hour, then you'd be amazed at the kind of progress you can make. Many therapists use a brief, solution-focused model and will work with you on identifying a major issue and suggest things to both of you to work on in yourselves. How fast therapy goes is actually up to you. I often also point out to folks that divorces have tremendous cost, both financially and emotionally. As far as availability goes, there are some areas in the US where therapists are scarce, and I've heard that in other countries, such as the United Kingdom, there are long waits for therapy that's free, largely due to demand. But online therapies are growing in popularity and are definitely an option, and the self-help community of podcasts, books, tapes, seminars is huge. If you look, you'll find something that'll help. Misconception number 4, distrust. I don't want anyone to know my or our business, and how could some stranger know anything about me? There's no getting around this one. At its root is a struggle with fear, shame, and immense distrust. If you're $50,000 in debt, if you've got an addiction, if you were abused as a child, if you meticulously clean your house at 3 a.m., those things are important for a therapist to know if they're going to be able to help. Often that distrust is rooted in the fact that you've been hurt, and you don't want to be hurt again. And misconception number 5, my partner doesn't need to know everything. Many people keep secrets, and yet secrets have power. A lot of power. You may not have wanted to disclose these things for fear of their impact. I get it. Hearing yourself say the words and especially admitting something in front of your partner can be very hard. But if your marriage is crumbling, maybe it's time to consider another strategy for connection, one that is built on more openness and honesty. And that can start in couples therapy. You just listened to the post titled 5 Common Misconceptions That Keep Couples from Seeking Therapy by Dr. Margaret Rutherford of drmargaretrutherford.com, and be sure to stick around for my commentary in just a sec. Picture a wardrobe upgrade with quality essentials at an unbeatable price. Quince has you covered with timeless pieces that never go out of style. You'll have them in your closet forever. Quince has all the must-haves, like Mongolian cashmere crewneck sweaters from $50, iconic 100% leather jackets, and versatile flow knit activewear. And all Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. That's because by partnering directly with top factories, Quince cuts out the cost of the middleman and passes the savings on to us. And most importantly, Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. And as for me, I love Quince's versatility too. They have great home items as well as clothes, and I've been really happy with the bedding that I bought from them. When you look at it and you feel the material, you can tell easily that it's of high quality. So indulge in affordable luxury. Go to quince.com/ORD for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/ORD to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/ORD.
On May 10th, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is coming to IMAX and theaters everywhere.
What a wonderful day!
This summer, one movie event will reign.
It is our time.
Apes hunt humans. That is wrong.
Bend for your king.
Never.
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Only in theaters May 10th. Tickets on sale now. Rated PG-13. Some material may be inappropriate for children under 13.
And a big thank you to Dr. Margaret for this post. She's addressed, as she said, some very common reasons that we're prone to come up with ourselves. And look, sometimes therapy is not the answer. Contrary to popular belief, not every single person needs or benefits from therapy. I personally think it is much, much more helpful than the majority of people give it credit for. But sometimes we have other tools at our disposal that we can use to overcome our problems, and a therapist isn't necessarily our only option. But it depends on what these problems are, and how willing we are to seek these creative solutions, these alternative solutions. So all this to say, if you don't want to go to individual or couples therapy, then fine. It's natural to meet it with resistance. But at least don't do yourself the disservice of not consistently trying other approaches. Therapy is an amazing outlet, and if you really don't want to do it at this point in time, the least you can do for yourself is hold yourself accountable to the changes you want to make and not sit there doing nothing at all, waiting for things to change on their own, blaming the world or your partner, etc. If this is something you find yourself doing a lot of, then the fixes to your problems are likely much farther away than you think. So, think about that, everybody. It's time to get going for now, but I appreciate you tuning in today and listening through to the end. Enjoy the rest of your weekend if you're listening in real time, and I'll be back with you tomorrow, where your optimal life awaits.